Brothers and sisters, what is the book of Ezra about? It tells how God's temple was previously destroyed. God's temple was destroyed. Originally, the Israelites and Jews were taken captive to Babylon. After 70 years had passed, God brought them back to their homeland. After returning home, they set about rebuilding the temple. Among them was a famous figure named Zerubbabel, and the high priest at that time was named Joshua. During the temple's reconstruction, a problem arose. They were constantly harassed by foreigners who said, "You must not rebuild the temple. Rebuilding this temple is forbidden." So they lodged a complaint and submitted a formal written protest. They complained about the Jews rebuilding the temple. They are reconstructing the temple. They are reestablishing the province of Judah, implying that it would cease to be the kingdom of Judah. Also, Judah was already under the control of the Persian Empire. The foreigners wrote a letter to the Persian king, saying, "The Jews are rebuilding the temple. The people of Judah, who worship God, are reconstructing the temple. They are rebuilding the temple in order to assert their independence. They did not want to remain under the control of the Persian Empire. If the temple were completed, then the kingdom, you certainly will not have Judea province anymore." So the king, acting in his royal capacity, issued a decree, issuing an order, prohibiting the Jews from rebuilding the temple. Thus, the temple reconstruction project was halted. After many years, the king who had forbidden the temple died. A new king ascended the throne. After the new king took over, God raised up the prophet Haggai, and also the prophet Zechariah. Haggai and Zechariah both spoke, and these two prophets were sent to encourage the people of Judah, saying, "You must now rebuild the temple." So they rebuilt the temple, continuing the construction. While the work was ongoing, again, foreigners lodged a complaint in a letter, saying, "Now the Jews are rebuilding the temple, which had been halted before, for it was previously forbidden by the king. Yet now they are continuing to rebuild on its original foundations." They asked them, "Why are you rebuilding the temple?" They replied, "Because in ancient times Cyrus, the founder of the Persian Empire, commanded us to rebuild the temple." Thus, the complainers said to the reigning king, "O king, please investigate and order your ministers to verify if King Cyrus had indeed commanded the Jews to rebuild the temple." Although a complaint had been made, the new king who succeeded him showed compassion for the Jews. So he examined the national treasury and discovered in the state archives a scroll containing the command that instructed them to rebuild the temple. Thus, the Israelites, the Jews of Judah, continued rebuilding the temple. Unexpectedly, the king who had agreed to let the Jews rebuild the temple was King Artaxerxes. This king also agreed to bring forth from the state treasury the gold and silver to collectively build the temple. Thus, there arose a figure known as Shigalasu, or rather, Haggai. There is a passage that says, "The gold is mine, and the silver is also mine." This was when King Artaxerxes brought out the gold and silver from the treasury of the Persian Empire. To build the temple of Jehovah. Brothers and sisters, understand the Persian Empire. He's not even Israeli. How would he be willing to give gold and silver to build God's temple? So today we say, the book of Ezra talks about the Jews returning home to build the temple, restoring their relationship with God, continuing to worship God. That's what it's about. So today when Brother Shebwa builds the temple, we are the nation of Israel, the Israel of the Soviet Union. Could it be that God, just like when the ancient temple was built, moved the emperor at that time to use the national treasury to build the temple of Israel's God, Jehovah? Could it be that today God moves various nations, kings of these nations, to be willing to allocate national funds to build a spiritual temple? To build this spiritual temple made up of 144,000 people? Maybe there will be. It might happen. Because for us to build this nation, we need strong financial backing. This funding should exceed that of a country. This funding should exceed that of a country. Exceed the funds of China. If that is the case, only then can the gospel be spread to all nations and peoples. In the Old Testament, God says, "The gold is mine. The silver also belongs to me." So he moved the Persian emperor to allocate the entire national treasury, even the emperor's personal wealth. And the emperor's ministers also offered gold and silver to build God's temple. That's how it is recorded in the book of Ezra. It seems to be telling us that today Brother Shibwa comes to build God's temple. The Father looks and believes that soon he will move nations and governments to provide gold and silver to help Brother Shibwa build this great nation together, to build the Israel of the Soviet Union, because of the spiritual Israel governs 1/3 of humanity. Governs 1/3 of humanity. No other country governs 1/3 of the human population. So will the country because of this give gold and silver to build God's temple? Certainly, the Father is the source of everything. The Father will accomplish everything. May all glory be to the Father, Amen.